The night everything changed. For nearly a quarter of a century, my life moved to a rhythm that, while not particularly exhilarating, was reliably consistent. Predictability, for some, can feel like a slow erosion of passion, but for me and my wife, Eleanor, it was a sanctuary. After 25 years of marriage, we had cultivated a shared existence built on unspoken understandings. A habitual morning coffee, a brief check-in during lunch, dinners cooked and eaten together, and a glass of red wine after the evening news. These were the rituals that tethered us, the gentle architecture of a life co-authored. Our children had recently left for university, and the house had grown quiet, sometimes oppressively so, but we compensated with nostalgia, well-worn stories, and a shorthand of glances and inside jokes developed over decades. I truly believed Eleanor understood me more thoroughly than anyone else ever could. And perhaps, somewhere in the comfort of that certainty, I stopped asking if the feeling was mutual. It was a Thursday evening, unremarkable in its simplicity. We sat on the living room sofa, the television muted, casting silent flashes across the walls. Eleanor held the remote tightly, her knuckles taut. Then, without preamble, she turned to me and asked, "Can I ask you something without you freaking out?" I smiled, mistaking her question for one of her characteristically odd musings. "Of course," I said, entirely unsuspecting. She exhaled nervously. "I mean, just hear me out, okay?" I nodded, still unalarmed. Then came the words that changed everything. "What would you think about opening our marriage?" I blinked, the phrase initially failing to register. I even laughed, assuming a joke. But her face remained unchanged, tense, unreadable. The room grew colder. "Wait, what exactly do you mean?" I asked cautiously. She shifted her posture, now fully facing me, arms crossed defensively. "Like a hall pass. Or maybe something we explore together. Nothing permanent. Just new experiences." The word explore echoed in my mind like a warning bell. I steadied my voice. "You're serious?" "I'm not saying we have to do it," she replied quickly. "Just talk about it." I stared at her, heart pounding, trying to trace the origin of this request. "Where is this coming from?" I asked. Her jaw clenched. "We've been together a long time, Nathan. Love you. Do. But maybe we've gotten too used to each other." "You mean you're bored?" I asked, sharper than intended. "That's not what I said," she shot back. But the implication hung between us like a heavy curtain. She continued, "I just want to feel something different. Not instead of you. With you. Together." I said nothing, eyes locked on the flickering screen. That night, while she slept peacefully beside me, I lay awake, staring into the dark, haunted by her words. "Open our marriage." The phrase replayed like a chorus in a dissonant song. Days passed. I waited for her to revisit the conversation, perhaps to retract it or laugh it off. She never did. She moved through our home as if nothing had changed, as though she hadn't just cracked the foundation of our marriage. By Sunday evening, the pressure inside me reached a breaking point. We were in the kitchen loading the dishwasher. I shut the door too firmly. She looked up. "You okay?" she asked. "No," I replied plainly. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed again, a posture I had come to associate with detachment. "It's still bothering you?" "Of course it is," I said, my voice edged with frustration. "You asked me if I'd be okay with you sleeping with other people, Eleanor. That's not something you just suggest and forget." She sighed, prepared for confrontation. "It was just an idea. We don't have to make it a big deal." "Not a big deal." I stepped closer. "You proposed inviting strangers into our marriage after 25 years. That's not a passing thought. That's a bomb." "You're being dramatic," she said coldly. "No, I'm being honest. You expect me to pretend I'm okay watching you with someone else? Or worse, pretending I'm into it. That's not what I meant. You said we could experience it together. What does that even mean?" She looked away before finally murmuring, "People do this, Nathan. It's not the end of the world. For me, it is." The space between us that night felt wider than the physical distance. Something fundamental had shifted. Or perhaps it had been shifting slowly, imperceptibly, and I had simply failed to see it. In the following days, I began noticing changes. Her phone vibrated more frequently. She wore perfume again. Her hair was styled with more effort, even for simple errands. She began going to the gym, but returned without a drop of sweat. And then there was the smile. That secretive smile. One night, she fell asleep on the couch with her laptop open. The screen had not yet locked. I glanced down. Private forums. Anonymous usernames. Explicit messages. Event invitations. Words that turned my stomach. Partner swaps. Discreet meetups. First-timers welcome. Then one message caught my eye. See you Saturday night. Can't wait to meet in person. That Saturday, she descended the stairs in a crimson dress I hadn't seen in years. Her hair and makeup were meticulous. She glowed. Big night? I asked, barely holding my composure. She smiled, adjusting her earrings. Yeah, something a little different. A party. What kind of party? She held my gaze. A swingers party. I felt something break inside me. If you walk out that door tonight, I said, we're done. There's no coming back. He paused. Then, without a word, walked past me and left. At 1:42 a.m., I heard the garage door groan open. Keys dropped into the bowl. The refrigerator clicked shut. She moved through the house as if returning from any ordinary evening. Still up? She asked casually. I didn't answer. She lingered, then walked down the hallway. Unable to sleep, I scrolled through my phone, mindlessly, until I opened my synced photo gallery. Among the recent uploads was an unnamed video, timestamped 2 hours prior. I tapped the thumbnail. The frame revealed a dimly lit hotel room. Red light bathed the space. A wine bottle sat on the nightstand. Eleanor's bracelet, one I gave her on our 15th anniversary, was unmistakable. She spoke into the camera. Film this for me. I want to remember it. She stepped back, revealing 3 shirtless men. They touched her, kissed her. She laughed, radiant, unrestrained. Not once did she look like someone with a husband at home. I stopped the video. I couldn't watch more. The next morning, she greeted me with a mug of coffee and a smile. Thought we could drive to the lake today, she said. I placed the phone on the table. Sit. She obeyed, and the moment her eyes caught the screen, recognition dawned. Cloud sync. A shared account. Her expression paled. I played the video in silence. When it ended, I locked the screen and said nothing. I didn't know it would upload, she whispered. I don't care, I replied. You still went. You still did it. And you smiled while you did. She reached for me. Pulled away. I made a mistake, she pleaded. I just wanted something different. I didn't mean to hurt you. No, you didn't make a mistake. You made a plan. When she tried to stop me from leaving, I looked her dead in the eye and said, You ended it when you walked out that door. That night I drove aimlessly. Her calls and messages flooded in. Apologies, rationalizations, desperation. The one that echoed. It didn't mean anything. But I had seen the video. I had seen her joy. At 3 a.m., I sat in the parking lot of the park where we used to take the kids. I stared at the trees swaying in the breeze. Then I sent a final message. There's nothing left to talk about. I'll be filing in the morning. Then I blocked her. The following day, I handed my attorney a flash drive containing the video. I wasn't seeking revenge. Only closure. I froze our accounts, changed the locks, packed her belongings, and left them by the garage. She returned, saw the boxes, and said nothing. Just picked up what she could and left. Weeks turned into months. The house was quiet again. But this time it was peaceful. One afternoon, while taking out the trash, my neighbor Colin approached me. I should have said something earlier, he said. I saw Eleanor getting picked up by some guy in a black car. Same guy, same time, week after week. I just nodded. It wasn't about that one night in the hotel room. That night was merely the point when she stopped hiding. That evening I sat on the porch, the one where we had once planned our future. Now it was just me. And for the first time in a long time that didn't feel like loss. Felt like liberation.